Welcome to the Equinety Podcast, where horse owners just like you share their incredible equinety stories and how equinety is changing their horses' lives. Whether you're searching for something to give your performance horse better focus, faster recovery, and more stamina, or in the extreme case where all hope seems lost, give your horse what it needs to help heal at a cellular level, you'll find it here. So jump in on today's episode to hear how Equinety is helping horses worldwide. Now, welcome your host, John Dowdy.
Hello and welcome to this week's Equinety Podcast. We are swinging up into the great state of Iowa. We've got Beth Sallak on the call this week. Beth, welcome to the Equinety Podcast.
Hi there. Glad to be here. I'm real excited.
Well, I'm excited, and for anyone who wants to just be jealous all over the place, this is the podcast for you. You've got a 28-year-old horse that has never had to have supplements, no issues, been the perfect horse, could do multiple disciplines and multiple things on a whimsical call anytime you need it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that pretty accurate?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh, this is pathetic.
I got lucky. Easy keeper.
All right. All right. Take us back. How long have you had this horse? And give us some history, the demeanor, just everything about what you've done with this horse through the years.
Okay, so he was born in 92. I bought him when he was 5. He was so versatile. He did calf roping, bell racing, Western pleasure, English equitation, showmanship, horsemanship, the whole gamut. I had to have this horse, so I got him. And we showed. We won state championships, division championships, and so on. And, through the years, he's retired now, of course, but he just so smart and just so well bred. He's Leo bred, foundation bred core horse, and registered with AQHA. And I showed on the AQHA circuit with him for a while too when he was younger. And but yeah, I don't know. I just fed him well, gave him really nice hay, and I never really had a supplement on him. Give him massages every once in a while after his good workouts when he was younger, and that just seemed to work. But yeah, I was looking for, he's older, he's an older gentleman, and I just was looking for a supplement to take care of everything that was simple.
Oh, well, this is just pathetic, is what this is for any horse owner. I think you're the first one that has had a horse all these years with no problems. So welcome. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you were boarding this horse at a particular place for how long? And then things started changing over there, and some things started going sideways with your horse here. Tell us, without getting into too specifics here, but what was going on?
Yeah. So I boarded him at a place for almost 2 decades, and it seemed to change hands. The condition of a lot of the boarders, including mine, just seemed to go a little downhill. And so I was looking for a new place. Found a new place temporarily. Had to move him from there too.
Oh boy.
He developed an abscess and some rain rot, and there was other issues going on. So I moved him, and I'm really happy with where I'm at now with him. But he had a small injury that I'm just on top of the things that were happening at the place I temporarily boarded him at. And so I was looking for a supplement to just take care of everything. I didn't want to buy 12 things. I didn't want to buy 6 things. I wanted to buy one thing that would take care of everything, and I knew it was out there. I just needed to do some research. And
you have a bit of a science background on top of this.
Yes. And so what I was really looking for was exactly what Equinety offered, and that is to connect with the pituitary gland in the brain, which connects to everything in the body. The myelin sheaths surround the organs, the eyes, the coat, host growth, cell rejuvenation, everything. And the more I read about it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, this is the supplement I want. Once a day. And yeah, I can't wait to see the results. And so about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I started him on the Equinety XL powder.
And how quickly did you begin seeing results?
I began seeing results within, the abscess that he had was gone within less than 2 weeks, a week and a half or something like that. And at his age, yeah, I was really impressed with that. The rain rot, that too. I was using a peppermint powder to help it along, but with the Equinety, it just blew out a new coat underneath, like almost pushed out all that weird mildew and everything, just pushed it out of his body and created a new, and just that cell rejuvenation and hair rejuvenation.
Let's back up just a smidgen. So prior, or just towards the end of his stay at the last place, what was his condition like? You had mentioned rain rot, abscess. What were some of the other things going on?
Yeah, it was like rain rot and abscess, which, that was the result of him staying at a place temporarily while I was looking for my next forever home for him. And he'd never gotten those things before. I'd made sure he hadn't had that before. And so I was kind of freaking out. And I know that a lot of people deal with a lot worse, but this is me and my horse. And this is the level, like the well of care I have for him is so deep that nobody can understand. Anyway, I wanted the best for him that I could afford. I wanted to have the tools for him that I could work with to make him better as quickly and efficiently as possible with what I could afford. And I have it with Equinety. I just couldn't believe how quickly he'd recovered with the abscess, with the rain rot. He also had been put out with some horses that I wasn't really crazy about him being put out with those horses. They just seemed he got bullied, and there was an injury, and he is currently recovering from that quicker than he should be.
Mm-hmm.
I do give him massages, and he does get some other treatments. But with the Equinety, the intercellular rejuvenation, repair, and so on, is really making a difference in my guy.
Sure. Yeah, and I tell you, for those tuning in for the first time, and maybe you're doing your research, you're trying to find whether it be an all-around supplement or maybe something just to help specifically with the hooves or maybe a healthier coat. And, that's one of the things with the Equinety Horse Excel. It doesn't fit into a specific category of a hoof supplement, a joint supplement, a calmer, muscle builder, shinier coat. And you've already mentioned this, but what it's specifically doing is it's giving the body what it needs to release the necessary hormones from the pituitary gland. And when you can do that, it allows the body to send its own hormones to its own problem areas. So in essence, it's customizing to each horse. And whether that be a pregnant mare or a foal, all the way to a retired pasture ornament and anything in between, it's going to help with whatever that horse needs specifically. One of the other things is, if you're already using other supplements, we always recommend to not change anything and just add this to it. And that way, it's the only thing you've changed. And one of the other great things about this product is it starts working in 24 hours. And the vast majority of people notice changes in 30 days or less. So it's quite remarkable, just how quickly it works. But we've seen it now, we're on the market 7 years, and we've been doing these podcasts for going on 3 years now. So it's pretty amazing and blessed for sure.
Yeah, I'm a true believer in the brand. I've seen it. If anybody asks me what supplement they should use, I'm like, okay, how I am with my horse. Here it is. And I'll give them an empty container so that they can look at it and do some research. And if anybody knows me, they know that I'm not going to settle. I'm not going to settle for just anything. Oh, this was on sale. That was on sale. No. I want the best for my horse that I can grab onto and,
sure,
that I can get quickly, efficiently. Your shipping has always been very efficient. Yeah. I'm a true believer in this brand. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, with your science background, what you were looking for an all-in-one kind of a thing, which might be looking for a needle in a haystack, I guess, if you don't know about Equinety Horse Excel. But when you finally found that, again, with your science background, did you immediately recognize the science behind this and what it was doing and say, hey, this is exactly what I'm looking for? What was your mindset kind of thought process when you were looking around?
Yeah, so I was like paging through, and I was on a social media platform, and the Equinety kept coming up, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to click on this and see. And almost immediately within the first paragraph, explained how it works. Goes, the amino acids go directly, amino acids 1, directly to the pituitary gland 2. Because then I was hooked. Did more research, did research on the articles that were in there about individuals having success with it, with many different disciplines, dressage, calf roping, and so on, like all these different types of horses, different breeds. We're having a lot of success with this one product, and there's no side effects. No bad side effects.
Sure.
There's no bad side effects. That's a big plus too. And it's one thing. And you do have the OEC that you can add later if you want to.
Correct.
But the powder, I mean, I can't speak enough about it.
Yeah. And, you brought up the OEC. We brought the Ultimate OEC out in March of last year. Perfect timing for the start of COVID, so. But it's gone over really well. We spent actually a year in the trenches doing field research and everything else. And what that product is, if you've come across it, it's a flaxseed-based omega-3 oil. It's got 1,000 IUs of natural vitamin E and colloidal silver all in one. And Dr. Zach Brugan out of Arkansas, had been using our Equinety Horse Excel for a year up to this point. And then, he was kind of looking for just a really great oil combination. And we just didn't want to be another oil product on the market. And we just didn't want to bring another product to the market for the sake of doing it. It had to make sense. And so this is why we spent, a year just doing field trials and formulation tweaks and everything else. And what the Ultimate OEC, it's meant to be paired along with the amino acids. And for two reasons. Mm-hmm. One, the amino acids, as we've discussed, is giving the body what it needs to help repair at the cellular level. And so adding the Ultimate OEC combination gives those repaired cells some nutrition, which helps them operate at optimal levels. Secondly, the combination of the Ultimate OEC ingredients is a really powerful antioxidant, which helps reduce inflammation, which is a cause of a lot of the issues in horses. So a lot of the feedback that we've been receiving over the last year has just been really, really positive, which is what we anticipated with the combination. We tell people it obviously is a little bit more expensive. It's $85 for a 30-day supply of the Ultimate OEC, and the natural vitamin E is what makes that so expensive. Whereas the Horse Excel, the amino acids, that's 100 days for $100, so $1 a day for your horse. But we always tell people if you had to choose one over the other, or if you just wanted to start with one, always just go with the amino acids, because you're going to see positive results typically in 30 days or less. There are times where it goes beyond that, but for the most part, the vast majority is 30 days or less. And if you can add the OEC, it's all the better. And I know you're excited to try that here coming up. So we'll have to get your feedback on that as well once horse has been on that for a while. Yeah, I'm excited about that component. Add on to the Excel. Yep, absolutely. So, is there anything else that comes to mind, or that transformation wise? I know prior to us recording the call, you had also talked about just a shinier coat, which you kind of already had a shiny coat, but in even filling out and kind of adding more muscles, the hooves were better all the way around. Anything you want to add to those things? Yeah, I would just say that I constantly get compliments on my horse that people can't believe how old he is. He's 28. Yeah. He looks like he is possibly 10, 11, maybe. I mean, yeah, his muscle development, he is retaining his youth. Like, it's almost like he's defying time itself. This supplement is just amazing. And of course, I give him the best care that I can, his stall, his feed, and everything. But I mean, it just makes sense to have just this simple addition to your horse's diet can make such a huge difference. And I'm just completely impressed with it. Yeah. And you know what? We've seen this now for 7 years, and we hear from people all over the country, and it doesn't matter if the horses are high-end competition horses that are getting the best of everything they can possibly be given, or just for the everyday rider that's given their horse the best of what they can give, and anything in between. When they add this one supplement, it's like they all just blossom in their own way. And, for the performance horse, it could just be soft tissue repair, recovery, stamina, focus. You get into the senior horses and, everything that you've described going on here. I mean, it's pretty amazing, which is one reason why we started the podcast, because people would call in and say, oh my gosh, let me tell you what this product has done for my horse. And it could be mystery lameness things that nobody can figure out what's going on. We've had some pretty severe situations where horses were scheduled to be put down, and now they're riding the horse again. Now, I will say this is not a miracle supplement. So, it's not going to put your horse in the winning circle or do anything. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, if you're trying to give something extra to your horse or trying to help it, or you're scratching your head trying to figure out a possible solution, the odds of this working are on the very, very high side. which is why we do these podcasts, so people can hear from customers and stories from all over the country in different situations, and horses in different situations and doing different things. So it's we're proud to have you add to all these stories. That's for sure.
Thanks. I'm really glad to share my story. I just cannot get over how loyal I am to this brand. Like I said, I am very picky. I do a ton of research before I administer anything to my horse, and I, hands down, the best supplement on the market.
Well, we appreciate that, and we didn't even pay you for that line.
I know. That's the thing about me. If I believe in something, you don't have to pay me. I mean,
Yeah, that's great. Sure. Awesome. Well, as we in this podcast, if there's somebody that's tuning in, they might be sitting on the fence and like, well, that sounds good, but I'm not quite for sure. Is there anything that you would say to them to possibly get them off the fence to give this product a try?
I'd say, okay, here, just do this. Go onto the website, spend $25. You're going to spend a little bit in shipping. Get that little can. Get the little sample can of the XL. It's 15 days. Just do it. Just do one scoop in the morning. See what happens within 15 days. See what happens to the coat, to the overall mood, to the hook, to everything. Just be very detail oriented with your horse within that 15 days, and you'll see. Even in the solid waste, everything, you can see how much more food is being absorbed. I could go on and on for hours, but I would say just spend the $25 on that little sample can. Yeah. And you will see a difference. There are no bad side effects. That's the thing. There's no bad side effects. All you'll see is good. You'll see, definitely there's tons of benefits. That's the appeal. It's affordable. Initially, step into it, dip your toe in this stream. It's affordable. Yeah. Let's get you going on this.
Yeah, that's awesome. And our website is teamequinety.com, and you're referring to the 15-day sample that we have, which is $24.99, and it starts working in 24 hours. That's a 15 to 18-day supply, just one scoop a day. And I would say that a large portion of people do see changes in 30 days or less. So that is awesome. Well, Beth Sallak out of Iowa, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story here on the Equinety Podcast.
My pleasure. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
That's all for this episode of the Equinety Podcast. For more information on purchasing Equinety, be sure to visit our website at teamequinety.com, where you'll also find product information as well as more testimonials on how others have seen amazing results by implementing Equinety into their horse's supplement regime. We'll have more stories on how Equinety is helping horses worldwide right here on a future episode of the Equinety Podcast.